I am grateful to God that He made this happen. Let me quickly confess that at some point, I started thinking a lot of things. I said, okay, in Africa, we are quick to spiritualize things. I didn't want to initially, but I had to begin to think about it because I know I prayed so hard. I prayed so well about today. In the history of my 3 editions, yes, also 4. That means I was right. Thank you, sir. I have never prayed and prepared like I did for this year because I was doing some internal retrospect and I was asking myself in the last 4 years, 4 editions, this is the 4th, and consistently the Nick Hub team have considered me worthy, not because I am, to handle this particular topic. Lord, what's new for today? And I do not like to repeat lectures. So I had all of this mindset mobbled up. Then this. But again, I'm not surprised. We are talking about character. So let me first and foremost confirm that I have the stage because I know something was happening before I came, even though I'm very sure that you were all holding forth for me. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma. Good evening, every team member. And more importantly, all the special mentees. Good evening to everyone. Please, sir, do I have the stage?
Sir, you have the stage. Thank you. No, you don't. Sir, you don't have the stage. You have the hall.
Yes.
I have the hall.
Take the entire hall, sir.
Thank you very much. I have the hall. All right. If you don't mind, permit me to, as a way of trusting God to stabilize, begin with a word of prayer. I hope you don't mind.
We do not mind, sir.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, thank you for your mercies. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your super abundant help. Thank you for today. Thank you for 52 minutes past the hour of 8. Thank you for this journey. Thank you for the physical journey I made today to and fro over 76 kilometers. Thank you for your mercies. Thank you, more importantly, for this team. Thank you for the people involved this year, the year of the Lord, the year of dominion and speed, 2025. In this 4th month, we are trusting you that as we engage briefly, I ask for understanding, I ask for wisdom. To me, we may have lost about an hour of the things I planned to share. I ask, oh God, that you help me tonight. Grant me insight. Grant the listeners much more understanding. Thank you because even this year, we will fly and soar higher on the wings of character. This and more we ask in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen. Amen.
Let me confirm that I have everyone here. There is a way we do it at the Nick Hobbs team that I love so much every year. Quickly, let me confess. Is it confess? Let me remind us. Last year, we caught some people that were inactive. I guess they were doing something. They didn't expect we were going to get them. So let me announce to you that somewhere along the line, we will test your character. Your character will be tested. So first and foremost, let's have that thumbs up that I love to see that confirms you are here. Come on, let's have them. Let's have them. Welcome on board. Welcome on board. Oh, beautiful. PC Dako G. I made to promise the Nick Hub capacity. Okay, part of the admins. Who is doing double thumbs up? It's like you're doing for everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And one more time, if I have been forgiven, I'd like to take responsibility for my actions. So I'm not going to blame my unpardonable and unforgivable late appearance this evening. I take full responsibility for this, and while thanking my ever-present president, Nick Alifa, and his wonderful team members for holding forth till now, I like to say that please do pardon me. It is not in the character of a leader to come in late. In fact, I shouldn't even come 10 minutes past the hour of 8. At some point, I was saying, Lord, are you trying to say I should plead for a rescheduling? But the Nick Hub team, I know it is not in our character to do that. So please do forgive me, pardon me. I trust that the next time you will be meeting me anywhere else in the world, this will not be the story anymore. Nigeria happens to us. Bad technology, bad leadership happens to us. In Kogi State, where I live for 3 weeks now, MTN has been shut down. If you're in Kogi State, if you have anybody in Kogi State, confirm what I'm saying. MTN has been shut down because they are at loggerheads with the government, and it's been some terrible. And the alternative network providers have been, they've not been able to deliver. I have a MiFi here. I have everything I had that should make this evening a seamless and a beautiful one. It still happened the way it is. But let us not dwell on the spilt milk. I trust that in the next couple of minutes, I should be able to trust God to deliver on this topic that I love every year. I think in the next couple of editions, if the president will permit, I should begin to be considered a professor emeritus in the course Flying on the Wings of Character. And that is why I didn't want to, for any reason, take it for granted that I have been doing it before. And that is exactly why I prayed and trusted God and prepared. And this evening, I had, the opportunity for my own character to be tested. I can't tell you how much effort, what was done for me to be able to join this evening. The press and I are quite close in contact. I will share with him. I have some of the things, my apparatus, all of them littered around me. I'll just screenshot and send him so he will feel the pulse, what we're able to do to get here this evening. This evening, by the special grace of God, I will be speaking on the topic, flying on the wings of character. Flying on the wings of character. And this year, I chose to break it down with a rider. So you can simply say, flying on the wings of character, colon, soaring purposefully on character. Flying on the wings of character, soaring purposefully on character. Thank you, the Nick Hub team, for bringing me on board again this year. I do not take it for granted. Because of time check is 2 minutes to the hour of 9, and I would want to hand over the mic back to the moderators before they know it. As a way of confirming we all are together, one more time, give me that thumbs up to confirm that you can hear me loud and clear, since this network is quite beautiful. I will speak positively of my network tonight. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Press. I see your hand, and I'm glad that we are together. All right. One thing that happened to me today, and I want to confess again, is that maybe next time I would send my slides weeks ahead, as long as it is prepared. I had my slides this year, and I want to say that before now, in the previous editions, I didn't prepare slides, and it was intentional. This is the reason. Sometimes we prepare those beautiful PowerPoint slides, and the aesthetics, the jazzy nature of the PowerPoint, it catches our attention so much that we are trying to read what the presenter is presenting, and we get to lose or miss the meat. We miss the focus. So before now, I was of the opinion that even though having a slide presentation show is professional, it's beautiful, I have studied and researched over the years because I deal with students and I deal with them in numbers. I noticed that when slide presentation is ongoing, many persons try to say, hey, I will just wait at the end of the program, at the end of the event, at the end of the presentation. I will get the slides and it will be sent to me. So that's why I don't quickly give into slides. Now, if you are in this mentorship program this evening, you are without a jotter and a pen. Look at mine. You can hear that. I have some poor lighting system here. That's why I'm not live on camera. Okay. However, you heard that sound. That's my jotter and that's my pen. So as I'm teaching, as I'm talking, some things come to my mind. I document them, not to share with you. The Holy Bible, where I am guided with, the Holy Scripture says, Ezra determined to do and to teach. So there is a place of doing first. So whatever inspiration God puts in my mind about this topic we're discussing this night is not actually going to be for you, except I am permitted to share. That said, if you do not have a jotter and a pen, I don't think you even deserve, or you don't belong here. You have been following trainings and mentorships and teachings for a couple of days and couple of weeks now. I believe that you have already overcome that aspect of your life. Please always write down something. Why? The faintest ink is sharper than the sharpest brain. I believe you have heard this particular maxim before. Flying on the wings of character. And I will be looking at it in 7 short, broken down topics. Very short. I repeat, very, very short. Let's begin. As usual, what is character? What is character? I met the president holding forth for me, discussing that. So I will not do the usual, asking us to write in the comment section what we think is character. There's an exercise I usually do every year, but this year permit me to skip that because we have a lot to cover and we want to do it within the shortest period of time. So I'll be looking at this topic under 7 brief topics. I call them the 7-point agenda for flying on the wings of character. And the first subtopic will be understanding the power of character. Understanding the power of character. Here, I'll be talking about discovering the importance of character in personal and professional growth. What is the importance of character in your personal, that's your private and professional growth? We're going to be looking at the practical step to reflect on a time when your character helped you to make a tough decision. So we'll look at that practical step in order to be able to handle this particular topic. So we're trying to understand the power of character. The power of character. And hopefully we discover the importance of character in personal and professional growth. Yes. I want to be sure that I'm here. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm going to be permitting, asking the president to kindly be with me. Please, if you don't mind, you can unmute your mic. So anytime, because I'm watching and monitoring these network providers, just in case I feel an inch that I'm talking to myself, I might just want to have that confirmation. So thank you very much. So that we can, thank you, sir. We can do this together. So I was saying that we'll be looking at the first subtopic, understanding the power of character. Understanding the power of character in your personal and professional growth. What is character? Character is you. You are character. Character is you. You are your character. So I like to always repeat this nearly every year. I am eager by the grace of God Igala, North Central Nigeria. Lately we have been saying we are Middle Belt Nigeria. Yes. And in the Igala language, character could simply be described as Ali. Ali. Then another way to describe character in Igala is One. And the president is here, he's Igala, so he may also wish to confirm maybe with thumbs up or with a nod. One. One is literally translated as human or person. One is literally translated as person. So when they say One de, Oneche, when they say Oneche, while I'm saying a Chidima, please don't worry. I'm going to be transcribing directly the things I'm saying because this is a presentation and I do want us to understand. Let us be able to feel and relate to what we are saying so it doesn't become another theory. So when they say, oh, Neche, what they are saying is that this is a human being. This is a person. And what they are metaphorically saying is that this person has character. So if they can point at somebody and say, this person is a person, or this person is a human, is human, it then means that there are people that even though they are wearing the physical body of a human being, they are not seen as humans. They are not seen as humans.
Dr. Sam, we've lost.
So,
okay, great.
I'm on again.
Okay, yeah, you're on now. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, how can a human being be physically alive, walking with two legs, one head, complete mind, and yet people can feel, people can think that this one is not a human being? What could be the difference? It is character. Yes, it is character. So that is why I simply said that character is you and you are your character. You are simply transcribed literally by the character you exhibit day in, day out, daily. So I tried as much as possible to avoid the temptation of getting a Google or a dictionary definition of character because every one of you can do that for yourselves. We are all adults here. We are all adults here. And somehow, because of my busy schedules, I wasn't able to follow the Nick Hub team this year to know the statistics of persons that are registered, the number of males, the number of females, the age grade differences and all of that. I like to request that if that information can also be made available to your guest mentors like you, as usual, if it's available for the public consumption, I would really appreciate. I always love to follow up on all of that. So,
hello, Dami.
since
Did
we
you
are
hear that?
Hello, sir.
Dami
Yes, sir.
has had
I
you.
did. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you,
I
sir.
am here.
So, I was saying that we are adults and can find out the meaning of character, the definition, literally. So, I am simply saying that character is you and you are your character. Now, very quickly, why is the subject of character important? I've been wondering how the Nick Hub team has been holding forth, having carrying out this program year in, year out. Imagine if there was no communication. Character is like smoke. If it comes out, everybody around will see it. Every single person will see it. Character is like communication. If you communicate effectively, understanding is guaranteed. But if you communicate ineffectively, people will be more confused. So, as leaders, as people being mentored into a global citizenship. There is a character expected of you, even by those that are mannerless. Press, confirm.
Yes, sir.
Even those that lack character, when they see a leader or people they expect or expectedly are going somewhere, they have this way of expecting so much from them. Please don't be offended. Don't be angry. Anytime you see people expecting so much from you, even what they are not able to give, what they are not able to do, it is because there is an expectation of every leader. And I believe that you are here because you are working towards being a top tier leader globally. Why is the subject character very important? It is important because people are made, chances are mad because of character. I repeat, people are made and chances are mad because of character. People have lost opportunities because of character. That is why character is important. It is no news to many of you here that Nicholas Alifa graduated with a first-class degree honors at his undergraduate days and has consistently maintained that grade, a distinction student everywhere he has ever schooled. Till date, I stand to be corrected. Now, one of the certificates I am very sure of is his undergraduate certificate because we share the same certificate. We are from the same institution. One of the certificates I'm sure of is the undergraduate certificate. And in that certificate, mine reads, this certificate is awarded to you this day. Then they put the date. Then they now write in character and in learning. If anybody had that in their degree certificate, please confirm. Confirm with a thumbs up. If you had such in character and in learning. Before I go on, any other person like me? Okay. I can see that I'm not just alone. We are many. The question is, why would your institution, Ivy League institutions, why would they have to offer you that certificate, give that certificate to you first in character, then in learning? Do you now know why students are expelled from universities? Do you now know why people are rusticated and suspended for a couple of semesters, a couple of months, and all? It is because when there is character deficiency, every instrument, every apparatus, every style will be adopted to ensure that character flaw is corrected. Else, it can cause the entire universe. September 9th, September 11th, 2001, a young man named Osama bin Laden led a team of terrorists to attack the Twin Tower in the United States of America. I hope I stated my facts clear. I'm not very good with history. However, you can make your findings. This was somebody born into a family with parents, with a small cell of people whom he met every day. Then the cell grew. From there, he came into the larger society, and all he could lead a team of people to do is to tie a bomb around himself, enter a plane, and fly the plane straight into where there are thousands and thousands and hundreds of people. Character. So, one singular character flaw that is not corrected will lead to monumental disaster, unprecedented disaster you can never imagine. That is why this subject is very, very important. As a way of summarizing, I said, character is you and you are your character. Having said that, very quickly, can I quickly say that it is important at this point to reflect on when Having a strong character helped you to take a tough decision. What values do you uphold? We make decisions, we take decisions every day. We take decisions daily in our lives. The question is, how did your character, at the point you took that decision, how did it help you make the right choices? This evening, we are going to be taking practical examples, practical stories that happened, not read ones, not the ones we heard in movies or saw in movies, not the ones we heard in classes, the ones that happened to people around us, and a few, the ones that even happened to me as a person, I will also share by privilege. So, I had an opportunity recently to, as usual, be a referee, write a reference letter for somebody recently, like I always have the opportunity to. This time around, it was a lady. This lady reached out, a former student, and said, "Sir, please, I need you to be one of my referees. Kindly write a referee. If you don't mind, like you all know, those of you that have already done one postgraduate program or scholarship program or the other, please send your valid email, institutional email, not just an ordinary email, your institutional email, your phone number, and your full name." I said, okay. Before I went ahead, I asked this lady, "Are you sure you want me to be your referee, one of your referees?" She said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you are one person I feel you know me very well." I said, "Yes, you are very correct. I know you very well. And one of the things I know about you is that you have a bad character. You have a bad character, and you and I know. In your 4 years here, I know you more to have a bad character than a good one, than a type I can trust. So how do we do this? Don't you think it is better you go to someone else who will say good things about you? Because I will write exactly the things I know about you." And please, for every one of you here, I want to plead. When you come to the stage in life where people ask you to be their referee, please be sincere. Don't lie. Don't cover up and hope that they will be better. Say what you know about them at the time you knew them, but give them the chance to grow and develop. That is how I handle it. So she insisted. She said, "Sir, I knew this was going to come up because I remember in one of our classes in third year, 300 level, you told us that for many of you that are misbehaving now, when the time comes and you reach out to me and say, please be my referee, I will say exactly." So that she thought about it and that she didn't have any other person to go to. I'm like, wow, in my mind, in the whole department, somebody went to school for 4 years and didn't have and was not able to build relationship with his or her lecturers to the point that the only few person, one of the few persons knows that you have a bad character. Well, I stated it clearly and we went into, I submitted my Gmail and all of that and we moved. And when I was writing that reference, I wrote exactly what it was. However, one of the things I wrote that feared me myself was that this candidate cannot be trusted swiftly, is quite unreliable and has an unstable character. However, if given the chance, she might prove all of us wrong. I might be a better person. I can't give you the details of the things I wrote, but the truth is that I wrote what I just said and I submitted it. Following day, I received a call from the US. It was a strange number. I received a call. I was in the office and they said they wanted to confirm that I wrote what I wrote. I said, yes, no robot wrote what I wrote for me. I wrote it. Then they said, if I don't mind, can I share a little bit of details? I shared a few details and told them that, honestly speaking, this character, this particular, in theater, we call them characters, right? We describe people as character. So I said, this human being can actually make a good student academically. However, I have not been able to be convinced of her character. But She is a natural leader. She participates in class, which shows that if well handled. At the end, they said, thank you very much. The board will take her decision. The third day, they called me again and said, the board has a divided opinion, and they decided to reach out to me that if I am in their shoes, will I still take her as a PG student, as my supervisee? Then I said, yes, I would. I think that answer was what finished the work. I am not sure. As I speak to you, by mercy, the person got the admission with a lot of warnings. I saw her admission letter with some probations from the admission letter. The US doesn't take nonsense. I don't know why I had to share this evening. It's a recent occurrence, and it is about character. So she reached out to me in tears saying, sir, you gave me a second chance. I said, I didn't. God gave you a second chance. It is now left for you to go and prove us wrong and prove God right. Prove yourself right. And I think the last time I heard from her, she is doing awesomely well. But you see, here is a problem. If I lied about her character because I wanted to cover her up and probably warned her behind, whenever the disgrace comes, the disgrace will be first on me. You know, one thing about referring people is that, recommending people is that, you, the referee, the referrer, you will be held accountable. People don't take that lightly. So for every one of you here who is a leader, the Growth Mentorship Scheme is risking their name, will risk their integrity to recommend you after your training. And I bet you, if you go anywhere in the world and disappoint them, they will truly be disappointed, even though you may have disappointed yourself. Character. It didn't take so much. It wasn't going to take so much. And it doesn't take so much for students to be in good character, to be in the best of their character. Simply come to classes when you should come to classes. Submit your basic tasks. I know that in this mentorship scheme, you are given assignments. Many of you will wait until the dying minute before you submit yours. Some of you are giving group work, group tasks. You will never contribute. You wait for others to do it. Then you hide under the crowd. You don't like to take responsibility for your actions. Why is character important? Character is everything. I repeat, character is everything. There is a book titled Attitude is Everything. I know there is this reading program that we always do here. I don't know if that book is part of the book we are reading this time around, but I know the book is titled Attitude is Everything. And there's another book titled The 7 Qualities or 7 Characteristics of something leader. Sorry, I've forgotten the title.
Highly effective people.
Highly effective. Thank you very much, sir. Highly effective people. It is about leadership. Character is everything. Attitude truly is everything. If people are bribed to say good things about you when you truly know you have a problem, those people are not doing you well, because your true nature will come out soon. Because of time, I like to move to the second point. Remember, what we just discussed is understanding the power of character. I just try to paint a picture because I'm a thespian, I'm a dramatist. So I try to use analogies and illustrations. Powerful. Somebody almost lost a very beautiful, a powerful opportunity to get better education, better finance opportunities, just because the person lacked character. I'm worried. I am worried. I am worried because how do you explain that somebody who grew to become the president of a certain association on campus, no matter how small the association is, even if it's an association of just 20 people, the moment you are saddled with responsibility of being the number one man, a lot is expected from you. to be an ordinary course rep in your class among your mates, 180, 150 in Nigeria, in Africa, where we are, a single class is very populated, highly populated. So being a class rep to a set of students that is up to 100 plus is no longer a joke. So permit me to use the word, being an ordinary course rep is not a joke. It's a serious matter that needs serious attention. So somebody rose to become the president of an association. I don't want to name whether it's a fellowship or an honor organization, but presidented over this association on the campus where I am, and had a character flaw that he hid perfectly. I talked about a lady. Now I'm talking about a young man. He hid it perfectly, and even the people he led never knew about it. Number one, he had academic challenges, but was pretending and lying to his followers that he was doing well. How they were not able to know, nobody knew. Nobody could explain. It was in his final year, he managed to graduate. He graduated. He didn't stay back. But the issue is that he graduated with a third class. Suddenly now, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking about a situation I'm dealing with currently. The young man has an opportunity, of course, once again, to go to the same US for a master's program. He's even serving currently a youth corps member. Ladies and gentlemen, dear mentees, dear admins, do you know this young man wants to collect his transcript? Came through me, and one of the questions he asked me was that, sir, is there anything that can be done to improve or increase my CGPA? Can you beat that? That is a flaw in character. That is a character decay. Now, he is trying to find a way to increase his CGPA after graduation. Unbelievable. You see, I was shocked to my bone marrow. I couldn't believe. I mean, you had the nerve, the temerity, the effrontery, the audacity to look at me, Sam Alidu, in the eye, and you asked me if it was possible to increase your CGPA. Then I knew that this generation has a battle to confront. This was a precedent. Now, when he was in school, I believe he must have been one of those students who thought that school now scam, like they usually say on the street parlance here in Nigeria. Probably he was one of those that thought that after this first degree bullshit, permit my language, I will have nothing to do with their degree again. I will just go and make money. But here he is today. He now wants to go and further his studies. In fact, he has not even left school for 1 full year. He wants to further his studies. But here we are talking about him with a third class. This is not to shame. That word is certificate and shame put together. Like they talk about body shaming or slut shaming. I'm not trying to shame anybody, just in case you are here and you have such a class of degree. Your life is not dependent on that paper. Let me say that very quickly. No. However, when you are in a place, there is a spirit called the spirit of excellence. And it is character that helps you to put that spirit of excellence to use. Knowing that the time I have to spend here, 4 years, is not forever. Knowing that this mentorship scheme, this mentorship program is just for 90 days and it is not forever. It is a high level of grace. It's a high level of maturity that is highly underrated. Many of you here, you know, when you started, you were more than this population-wise. Press, as always, confirm. True or yes?
100%.
And I know by now, a lot of people drop by the way. What is the usual excuses? We don't have network. I don't have data. This one, that one. So many excuses. But these same people can do many other things except what is important to their lives. I bet you, my wife had to come into the room over and over again, praying and supporting in support. that God should just let me connect. It was a family matter to be here tonight. I traveled and left a certain program in Lokoja just to ensure I settled back in my base to be here. I had every excuse not to be here this evening. If it is about data, my president is here. He understands one drama that happened between us this afternoon. I am not in lack of data. Not today, not tomorrow, not forever. But you see, what is important is that I needed to be here. The question is, how strong is your character? Do you give in cheaply? Do you give in so quickly? At the slightest challenge, do you just give in? Do you just give up? In the pidgin parlance, we say, if you give up, now you lose. So, character is so important because it is everything. I move quickly to soaring to new heights. First of all, build self-awareness. You need to develop self-awareness to navigate life's challenges. Are you even aware of yourself? I ask again, DMNT, are you aware of yourself? Are you aware of yourself? Are you aware of yourself? What do I mean by self-awareness? Know your flaws. Know the areas you are weak. Know the areas you need to work upon. Are you the kind of person that is given to procrastination, the lazy man's apology? They always say procrastination is the thief of time. Have you stood before the mirror, stood yourself there and told yourself, call yourself by your name, Sam Alidu, I am quick to procrastinate. I have a problem with doing things on time. I have a problem with procrastinating. Tell yourself that. Don't pamper yourself and say, I am doing well, and I'm better than my mates. They that compare themselves with themselves are fools. And if you do not like the sound of being described or being descriptively saying to yourself, you are a fool, nobody likes to be called a fool, then tell yourself the truth. That is self-awareness. I am too hot-tempered. This, my hot temper, will limit me. It has the capacity to stop me from achieving my goals and targets. If you do not tell yourself that, who will tell you? We are in a world where, sadly, people paint evil as good. People pamper the truth. They shield it because the truth is bitter. So if you have not developed the skills of telling yourself the truth, then there is a problem. You are the first deliverer of yourself. So one of the things that has helped me stand out by the mercies of God, I say this with all humility, is that I do not wait for anybody to tell me that this is wrong or this is right. Before anybody ever comes to tell me, it is only a confirmation. It's something I already know. And I'm already sincerely working towards it. How do you do that? First and foremost, learn how to take responsibility for your actions. It's as simple as that. Take responsibility. What do I mean by take responsibility? Learn to say things like this. I messed up. I failed in this area. I failed woefully. Learn to tell yourself, I didn't do well. When you apologize not just emphatically, apologize empathetically, apologize with every sense of sincerity and seriousness. What do I mean? How dare you think you apologize when you say, but I say sorry now? Is that an apology? That's a character deficiency. When you apologize, The Bible says that a soft word turneth away wrath. When you sincerely do it the right way, you will see the result. You don't need anybody to tell you. Even if it's the devil, the person with the heart of the devil, a satanic heart, the person, as long as you genuinely, with emotions and sincerity, truth, honesty, embedded in your apology and communication, that person will be softened. But no, I hear some people say things like, this is me, oh, in our family we are like this. I cannot change myself for you. And you want to be a leader? This is not me trying to say you should begin to become men pleasers. Those are two different things. This is not me saying you should begin to dance to the rhythms of everyone. No, this is saying that do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Golden rule. That's the golden rule. It's as simple as ABC. So soaring to new heights is dependent on building self-awareness. Self-awareness. And I would like to say it this way very quickly. Do you know that there are people who have character issues, they have character flaws, and they are not even aware? They are not aware that they have character issues. And that is a serious problem. They are not aware. The question again is, are you aware? Are you self-aware? Do you have the awareness of who you are? I know somebody, I will not mention name, several years ago, a couple of years back, not too long. Please press, confirm that you can hear me.
Loud and clear, sir.
Thank you. Just a couple of years ago, maybe let's say 4 years ago, this person had some basic challenges, very intelligent, good with people, but had issues with, concord, grammar, basic grammar. This person reached out and said, while the person was doing very well, far better than I was doing, even at that time, but recognized that I had a certain grace in that area and decided that he will reach out to me and ask me to monitor the things he writes before posting them, before sharing them. Self-awareness. The problem is not that you have a certain issue. The issue is not that you have a certain problem. The issue is that you recognize, and even when it is brought to your attention, you refuse to accept it, let alone work on improving on yourself. That's a problem. A fundamental problem. Very fundamental problem. And like joke, one thing led to one thing, writes a memo, writes a publication, sends it over. As he was doing that, I believe he was also sending to others. Today, you need to see the young man write excellently well. I do not know as of today if the young man in question, if he does have proofreaders, but I see the level of growth in 3 years. The growth is monumental. It's unbelievable. Some of you, if you are told by anybody that this thing you wrote is not very correct, it does not agree, there is a syntax, there's a concord problem, you pick offense because you feel that you are too big to be corrected. Don't you know I'm a graduate? You hear them say things like, it's not by grammar. Does English language put food on the table for people? These are people that don't want to grow. It's a function of your character. And when you are like that, even when people see anything wrong with you, they will never tell you again. I do not have much time. For that purpose, permit me to still move very quickly. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. If you want to build a strong character, time check 9:40. I should be rounding up anytime soon. Like I always say jokingly, I think one of the things that has been my strength is managing time appropriately. If we started as and when due, by now we should be done. Ladies and gentlemen, dear mentees, amazing set 2025. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? How do you leverage on these to fly and soar? How do you leverage your strengths and work on improving your weaknesses? Remember, we started by saying you needed to understand the power of character by discovering the importance of character in personal and professional growth. And we said, what values did you uphold? Number 2, we talked about soaring to new heights by building self-awareness. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I believe I have your permission to move quickly to the third agenda for the night. And it is navigating turbulence. Thank you, sir. Navigating turbulence. Turbulence will come. Then, how do you overcome adversity with resilience? I took my time today, to discuss the matter of character in these few agenda, under these few topics. Navigating turbulence. One of the problems with people is that they are too quick to run away. There is a challenge. There is a storm. You have not even tried. You saw the door closed. Who told you that it is locked? Not all closed doors are locked doors. Some are just closed. All you needed to do was a little push. Sometimes all you needed to do was a little knock and somebody will respond and open the door for you. Some of you, there are many persons on earth who are living a life that never tried nothing. A life that never tried anything. The shots you never shot will remain unshot. Every picture you never took will never be taken. You better take it and let it be that it was glory. You better take it and let it be that it was not professional. However, you took a shot. Can I ask you, how often do you take shots? How often do you give a try? Do you just chicken out? Apply for that scholarship. It's a function of character. Enter that person's DM. Ask him or her, sir, how did you do this? You are in the UK, Sir Nick. How did you get there? And I think that is why we are here. Sir, I want to do this. Can you guide me? Oh, what if he does not respond favorably? What if he snubs me? What if she doesn't answer me? Can I also add another what if? What if they don't snub you? What if they answer favorably? What if they answer you? What if it doesn't work? What if it works? Why not build a positive mindset? Navigating turbulence means you would have to build a positive character, a positive attitude that is not pessimistic, but optimistic, that I am a go-getter, and when I go, I get. Many persons that have been limited and stagnantly limited at one spot in life, it is because of a truth. They never gave it a shot. How does this connect to character? It begins with even little children. You will see that some children walk at the age of maybe 8 months. They start walking. They give it a try. They fall down, they stand again. They continue trying. They fall down, they break their mouths, they are bloody, they are bleeding, bloodshot eyes, bloodshot wounds everywhere, but they keep trying. But the one that doesn't try at all is 2 years old, but cannot walk. Is 2.5 years old, but cannot talk, cannot communicate, cannot even say what is the problem. I am hungry. It's a problem. I want to ease myself. It's a problem. Some persons need to be helped. Maybe you are that person that needs to be helped. That is why you are here tonight. I say congratulations to you, because from today, you will begin to navigate the turbulence that comes before you, and you will overcome adversity with resilience. So maybe you should begin to ask yourself, share a story with yourself of a time when you faced adversity, and how did you bounce back? You had a challenge. You lost money. You lost money heavily, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. You were supposed to be laid on the ground. You were supposed to be set to the back, but you bounce back. If you think about that story and truly you are still alive today and you are still doing well today, then even the turbulence that are about to come, with good character, you will overcome. If you are that person, let's see that thumbs up so I confirm that we are still together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like to quickly move because there is a way I plan to summarize to the fourth point. And for this year, I said here that you want to build a resilient character that will navigate through storms and turbulences. Then, number 4, you need to fly in strategic formation. I repeat, flying in strategic formation. If you have ever served in Nigeria as a youth corps member, there is what they call formation. When they want to do, what do I call it now? Parade, on parade grounds. They stand in formations. Platoon 9 can never mix up with platoon 2. 3 platoon can never mix up with 1 platoon. And 7 platoon cannot be seen in 5 platoon. They stand in formation, highly organized. In character building, you need to fly strategically in formations. What do I mean by strategically flying in formation? It is the power of positive relationships. And like I always say, relationship is the most powerful currency there is on earth. Relationship. Relationship is a powerful currency. Can I challenge you? Are you here, sir? Are you here, ma? You quarrel with everybody. You quarrel with anything. All your destiny helpers that would have helped you in life and in destiny, you have had issues with them. It's a function of dysfunctional character. It is a function of dysfunctional character. Yes. You live in a lodge, you live in an estate, you live in an hostel with other inmates, like they call them. As a student, as a corps member, as a graduate in your workplace, every other person else is bad. You are the only good person. Don't you think you are pointing one finger at everybody and the remaining fingers are pointing back at you? And probably you blame everyone else. You even blame God except yourself. There is a problem. There is the power of positive relationship building. Building and maintaining healthy relationships is key to growth, career-wise, professionally, and even privately. And I think I have a brief testimony to share about this. I do not know how it happened, but usually the Nick Hub mentorship scheme and the program generally has a style of making the mentees know who is the next person coming on board, or even if you don't know who is teaching for the night, you at least know that these are the persons you are having for the year or for the session. I do not know if that happened this year, but from a chat I had with one person who is here this evening, I posted and I was trying to create awareness that this happens every year and I will be speaking at so place tonight. And this person said, sir, when I saw the topic flying on the wings of character, the first person that came to my mind was you. And I was thinking strongly that you may be the guest mentor for tonight. And that he was not surprised. But that's not the point. For those of you that care to know, I'm a teacher. I lecture in a university in Nigeria. And recently, my wife and I began a restaurant business. We started a restaurant just to, meet the needs of people who are hungry, and we call it a ministry. I want to spare you the details. But something has been happening. The business is just about 4 months old. And in 4 months, we have had a turnover that is unbelievably unimaginable. I say this with all humility, and it is true. In 4 months, we have been able to build a customer base that even those who have been in that same business before we got in, some of them are our next door neighbors doing the same business. You could literally see them stand at their door, mouth opened, shocked, surprised. How are these people doing it? Let me tell you, they are not coming to eat because this lecturer and his wife are the best cooks or are the best chefs there are on earth. No. It is not because our food is the tastiest or is the finest. It is because there is a secret, there is a tip that many people do not know. And I tell you this quickly. If you are a businessman or a businesswoman, you are an entrepreneur here. If you are an entrepreneur here, I put it to you quickly that people buy you before they buy your product. Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. People purchase you. People buy you first before they buy your product. You are telling people that this clothing, you are into fashion, and they look at you wearing tattered rags, wearing tattered clothes, looking shabby. Who will buy from you? Nobody. So, before people will ever consider to do business with you, to engage you, they must first accept you. And it is character. Character. You don't talk to people anyhow, just the way you feel, no matter the provocation. There is a way to be firm and yet very polite. I repeat, there is a way to be firm and yet very polite. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the fourth agenda, flying information. Build positive relationships. A Chinese adage says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people, go along with a company of like minds. You will go very fast, but there is a limitation. When you fall, nobody to help you. But when you go with a league of like minds, positive-minded people, even when you are getting discouraged, you will notice that there will be encouragements from left, right, center. If you are financially down, they will help you. And that is why it is important to make impact. Don't live a life for yourself alone. Live a life of giving to people. I'm not talking about giving money now. That's not the first. Literally, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about giving physical items. But first, build human infrastructure. Build humans. At every stage you find yourself, you can build humans. I received a call recently from a student I taught in JSS 1, far away in Jigawa State, during my NYSC service here. This student, a female, told me that she has been looking for me on all social media platforms for over 10 years. And I'm like, what? And that suddenly she found me. The question is, for over 10 years in a generation where teachers take advantage of little girls, in a generation where mentors, supposed mentors, become tormentors. Supposed mentors turn out to become these tormentors of the same people they are supposed to mentor. If you are here, you have the opportunity to mentor young people as a teacher, maybe in a primary school or in a secondary school, in a college or high school. Don't ever think that time is far. In a short time, as you blink your eye, it is 10 years. Those same students you maltreated, you taught the wrong things, you took advantage of, they will grow in your very presence, and they will sit right before your presence, and they will be on the same table with you, and you will be so ashamed. Character. I started by talking about number one, understanding the power of character. Why is character even important in the first place? Number two, we talked about soaring to new heights, building self-awareness. Do you even know yourself? What are your weak points? What are your strong points? Number three, we talked about navigating turbulence, overcoming adversity with resilience. Build a resilient spirit. Tell yourself stories of when you wanted to fall or you even fell, but you bounced back. Number four, we just talked about flying in a very strategic formation. As I see that we are navigating towards 10 p.m., I don't know what I can do in 3 minutes, but permit me to quickly run to number five. And here I said, to build character, you need to begin to reach the cruise levels of the altitude, reaching your altitude, cruising to your altitude, embracing what? Responsibility and accountability. Remember, we already talked of responsibility, taking responsibility for your action in passing. I want to go a little bit in depth. Take ownership of your actions and decisions. Don't shift blames. They blame game. Oh, it is the woman you gave me. Oh, it is the snake you created. Ah, snake. It was your decision to create us. That was what the first man did. Blame game. I keep imagining if the man we read about or we read about, Adam, if he took responsibility and prostrated, fell down on his face flat and said, I'm in your hands, kill me. I have done what you asked me not to do. Maybe the story would have been different today, I guess. Or maybe the punishment would have been mild. I don't know. But you see, nothing is as annoying as taking the wrong step and trying to shift the blame on somebody else. Take ownership of your actions. Be responsible for your mistake. There is a difference between a mistake and an error. Let me try to define mistake in the simplest understandable way. Everyone else is always taking a take. We're always having a take. We are taking something. We are taking a step. We are taking a decision. We are taking an action. In the process of these takes, one can mistake. One can mistake. It's okay to have to make mistakes. However, when your mistakes consistently become errors, that is where there is a problem. Sometimes errors are difficult to be corrected. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But you must be able to separate your mistakes from growing and gravitating towards errors. What have you learned from your previous experiences? You say experience is the best teacher. Are you really sure? Some experiences are so daunting. Some of them are so tough. You may never come out of them alive. You may never come out of them alive. So, accountability is the next part of this agenda. Who are you accountable to? Do you have an accountability partner? Or everybody is so bad, you don't trust anybody? You don't trust There's nobody you can, be accountable to. You are accountable for nothing. You are accountable to no one. You are not a disciple. You are not discipled. You are not disciplined. You are not willing to be discipled. You are not willing to be mentored. All some people do is they go after some big names. People who have made it in life that they only see on social media. They take pictures of them and they say, this is my mentor. How is the person your mentor? Excuse me. How is the person your mentor? Have you ever related with the person one-on-one? Does the person know you by name? Have you ever received counsel? If you call the person, would he answer? So how have you become a mentee to somebody that doesn't know you? Be accountable. Be accountable. Quickly to the 6th agenda. You must learn how to manage stress and emotions. You must learn how to manage stress and emotions. One of the things that has affected the character of many persons from research is emotional unintelligence, lack of emotional intelligence, emotional outbursts. Let me put it to you as a leader, as a mentee in this scheme. People will step on you, people will step on your toes, but you must develop emotional intelligence enough to navigate through life's challenges. So quickly, what is the practical step? You need to identify your emotional triggers. What are the things that trigger emotions in you? Write them down. Itemize them clearly. Then create a plan on how to manage your emotions, the things that cause high pressure situations in your life. When those situations arrive, all you need to do is remind yourself, yes, I know this is one of my triggers. However, I will manage this pressuring situation. I will manage this pressuring situation. What are your triggers? Do you even know them? Or you are just going about? The reason why you can burst, you are outburst uncontrollably is that you have not known your triggers. As I round up, 7th and the last, I wrote here, I said, to build a strong, sustainable, consistent character, and take note of the word sustainable and consistent, you need to land in life with purpose. What do I mean by landing with purpose? I mean leaving a lasting legacy. Leaving a lasting legacy. If you want to build a strong character, live a life with a vision of living an impactful legacy. What do I mean? You need to first of all define your purpose. Define your purpose and leave a positive, impressionable, first positive impression and impact on people. Let me say that again. You need to live a purposeful life. Then you need to define your purpose and try to leave a good and positive first impression that is impacting on others. There are people that when you meet them for the first time, you just tell yourself, this one, I don't hate him, I don't hate her, but it is he or she is a no. That's a problem. It is because you have not learned how to leave a positive, lasting legacy on people. How do you successfully do that? reflect on what kind of legacy others have left on you. Think about the people you cannot easily forget. What did they do? What was that one thing they did? What was that one thing? And that is where consistency comes in. Some people have a good character today. Then tomorrow you suddenly meet them in the market. You suddenly meet them on the street. You suddenly meet them elsewhere. And you are wondering, what changed? You are wondering, what happened? There is no consistency. There's no consistency. So, by God's mercy, like I said, being a teacher, I work amongst young people as students. One thing I love to be known for is that I like people to know me for, if you are not disciplined, if you don't have principles, if you don't know how to maintain principles, you may not be able to stay around me. That way, I sieve those that come around me effortlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, what legacy would you want to be remembered? As I begin to drop this microphone for the evening and this hall, like we are saying, Microsoft Teams. You know, you can be a leader with a portfolio and you have a deep character flaw, a deep character decay. And sometimes people are not aware of it. Sometimes you can hide your true character and get a job in an organization. You can hide the character, you get a job, but 3 months after, they are beginning to wonder, what a mistake we have made. They are even ashamed to lay you off because they begin to doubt, they begin to question their own integrity and discernment. And I do not wish for any one of us to be in this situation. It's a terrible place to be. When you pretend your way through, you may need to pretend your way through it all. And it is difficult. What? Just a matter of time, your real character will come up. Don't be the reason why an organization will regret employing certain persons from certain regions of a certain country or certain nations. I go back to the restaurant business I talked about. My press, sir, there was a lady who was managing the particular space we are using now several years ago. That lady's name is Blessing. And I think I have prayed that God will bless her. Her name is Blessing and she's a blessing to our generation. What happened? When she was managing that space, it was still something related to restaurant, making of pastries, shawarma, and all of that. When people notice that, this space is back again, is active and alive, do you know that we notice that 20% of our customers, close to 20% of our customers, are people who were on that campus and were used to patronizing that shop before. Now that the place is active again, they are coming back thinking it is blessing. So we inherited customers we did not bargain for.
Because of character.
Wow. Just wow. Character. People will come and tell my wife that we are here because there was this lady here, Blessing. We thought she was the one that is back. Do you know Blessing? We say we don't even know Blessing. We've never met Blessing. Now we are beginning to look for her contact everywhere just to tell her Miss Blessing or Mrs. Blessing, whoever she is now, whatever her status is. God bless you. Thank you for having good character. Thank you for being a blessing to us. Thank you for making people come to our shop, advertising us without knowing us. Somebody say character. Can I ask you, if you work in a place for 1 year and you leave the place, can somebody else be employed because of you? When they hear that, this name is Chiamaka. Chiamaka is an Igbo name. I remember Chidima. Chidima was an awesome staff. I don't care whether you are from the same state or not. It doesn't matter whether you're from Imo or you're from Anambra or from Enugu. We are going to employ you because of a certain Chidima. We hope you do better than that Chidima. Are you that kind of a person? Or will you be the kind of employee that when you leave a place, of course, on a negative note, if they hear that you are from so state, they say, God forbid, we better leave that space vacant. Recently, I was involved in an employment situation, experience with a certain university. I was contracted to carry out online interviews. And a young man that had a brilliant opportunity because the man who was in charge of the team was from his region. And truly the man wanted him. I will not name the area because I am truly embarrassed as I'm talking to you right now. Do you know this young man literally he insulted his interviewer by telling him that he has a PhD and that he can get a job anywhere in the world. But you have had a PhD for 3 years and you have not gotten a job. This young man spoke rudely to everyone. And guess what? A young man that was sleeping in his house from Benue State was picked up for the job without interview. Just by responding correctly with the right attitude, with the right emotion on phone. His appointment letter was sent to him with a start-up salary of 350,000 with an accommodation in Nigeria. Yes. Can I ask you again as I hand over? What is your character like? You have learned how to write beautiful things. They taught you in makeup. I saw it. I know you have been taught how to write very compelling scripts. You have been taught how to, speak in the public. You have done all of this. That is beautiful. But do you know, Ulewe Chofo, your journey is wasted. I put it to you. Your journey will be useless. You are like a flat tire. You can go nowhere. No matter how skillful you are. And I put it like this. Aptitude. You must have heard this before, I guess. Can take you to an altitude. But with a terrible and bad attitude, you will crumble and become a destitute. I repeat, aptitude can take you to a height or altitude. But with a bad attitude, you will become a destitute back into the dungeon where you came from. No matter how good you are in anything, if you have a bad attitude, if you have a bad character, you are like a flat tire. You go nowhere. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam Alidu, and I stand for discipline and good character. Would you like to ride with me on the wings of character? Soar in Jesus' name. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. All right. So, well, guys, I don't have anything to add. Precious, are you going to take questions or what do we do?
Yes, sir. We'll take questions. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Samalito. Right now we're taking questions. If you have any question for our mentor, you can raise up your hand and I'll call you to ask. But if by adventure you are not in a place where you can ask questions, you can send your questions in the chat box and then I'll read it. So do you
Okay.
have any questions?
While we'll do that, as you think through, we have 26 persons joining tonight, and you still remain here even when it is past the hour of 10 o'clock, and that shows a very good character. As a result of that, I'm thinking of something to do for you people. So, Precious, is there a way to get the names of the people that are online right now? 26 people, minus me and Uncle Sam, that is 24 people. So can I get the names of those 24 people? I will think of what to give you guys. I'll think of what to do for you guys before next week, and I'll mention it on the group.
All right, sir. So we are still taking questions. So while we're waiting for questions, Mr. Sam, I have a question. I joined late because of my
Hmm.
network. My network was taken out and in, but I have a question. So while I was preparing to moderate for this session, I was having a conversation with one of my friends on character. Is it possible to have a character flaw without knowing it? Because I was telling my friend that some character flaws are situational or circumstantial. So is it possible to have a flaw without like knowing that your character is flawed? Because maybe people are praising you that you are good at this and this and this, but then you get to a particular situation, you're promoted to a particular place, then you realize that you have this character flaw. Is it possible? And if it is, how can we correct it?
Thank you very much for that question. Even though you did apologize that you came in quite late, uh, to have asked this question means you followed all that was said. And let me lend my voice to saying that I do not know exactly what to do for the persons who are here too, in support of what my president will always, please don't mind me, I call him my president. He will forever remain my president. The relationship is deeper than you may know for now. But I don't know how it skipped my mind. I At the point I was having issues with network and joining. I also know that the NICOP team must have selected Microsoft Teams, as the platform for this for a certain purpose, and I respect that very sincerely. Now, when I realized it was 1 hour 45 minutes, that is 8:45, and had not been able to join, I was like, would I even meet anybody? Would they have all gone? But you decided to stay. That is a pass for nearly all of you. That is a strong test of your own character. For many of you, you may have even had some other schedules, but out of the respect you have for this scheme, you decided to be here. You may not even understand. There were people who were here last year, and when they saw I posted the one for this year, many of them ran into my DM saying they wish they can be part of the one for this year again, and all of that. And I'm aware that there were persons who were here last year and they have been officially engaged by the Nick Hop team. Thank you so much, Press Nick and your team, for being a worthy and a shining light. To answer the question, is it possible to have a character flaw, for one's character to be flawed without knowing it? Yes. Yes. Sincerely, there are people that are in error. They are honestly in error. They are honestly making mistakes they don't even know. I'll give you an example. Imagine a young child who grows up in a home where they have maids or they have a maid. These maids wash their clothes, wash their dishes, do the cooking. They don't do nothing. Theirs is to go to school, come back with their lunch boxes, and they keep them, and the person washes it. Then suddenly this person grows to come to a place where maybe for one reason or the other, is now in a situation where you need to do these things for yourself because nobody is your maid, nobody will be your maid in that place. You see, this person will be expecting that same life he or she has lived in the last 20 years. I don't know if you can relate to the situation I'm trying to paint here. Now, this person grew up knowing that everything should be done for him or her. Now, naturally, that's a flaw. It's a character flaw. That's a character flaw. This person thinks that I have two hands, but this hand should be lazy. I have two legs, but I shouldn't go to nowhere. I'm not meant to cook for myself. I'm not meant to be stressed. So by the time you begin to try to put it to this person that no, actually, this is not how life should be. There are times you need to do, in fact, many occasions you need to do stuffs for yourself. People will not always come through for you. So if you look at that kind of a situation, you know that this person had lived a certain life. It will take a whole lot to undo the particular software that has been installed in his or her DNA. So truly, I don't know if for want of better examples, yes, somebody can be flawed without knowing it. However, there is a but. The way God does it is that he puts what is known as inner weakness. It is a part of your spirit that tells you when something is good or bad. And that voice, it always comes in twos. It will tell you that this thing is bad. And the other one will tell you that, no, it's okay. Every other person is doing it. You know. So what happens is that you have that inner witness. Aside the inner witness, you now have people who are positioned around you to mention such things to you. If you are in a place and 5 separate persons that never met each other didn't discuss your character issues and they mention the same thing, Oga now, sister, why? You should think about it. But the issue is that most times we have people who, because they are benefiting something from you, they will bring you into destruction. And I think that is why it is important to look at that point where we talked about having a formation, a strategic formation of relationships, of people whom you can be accountable to. So I summarize by saying, yes, somebody can have a flaw without knowing genuinely. But the question is, for how long would you not know? When you are in the midst of people, somebody must have drawn your attention to it. So sometimes it is just out of sheer negligence, we just leave it. So if you follow the people very correctly, very promptly, you will notice that somewhere along the line, we talked about telling yourself the truth. I think the president is here and would also add some. I see his hand. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I just want to give an example. Well, first of all, yeah, it is very possible for you to have a character flaw and you don't know. I'll give a personal example. I don't know if this one is a character flaw, but I think it's a flaw. About 2 years ago, I started engaging and working with some persons, and then normally, if you send me an email, and that email does not require me to maybe you just sent an email and say, okay, this thing that you say we are going to do yesterday, or that thing has been done. I'll just read it. Oh, fine, it's been done. But then that one keep on going until one day, I was doing it with my supervisor, and then he one day he was like, Nick, do you know it's very rude not to reply an email? Like, I don't understand. Like, and I go back to I was trying to think of, okay, did he ask me any question in the email before I did not respond? I like that he has sent me a couple of email and I did not reply to acknowledge that. I don't know if you understand. So it's for to him that was something rude. He thought I'll correct myself, and over the years I didn't correct myself. But it didn't occur to me that I have a responsibility to reply any email I see in my mailbox, especially if the person addressed that email to me and I know the person that sent the email. So it was a character flaw, but I never knew. But he pointed out to me. So today, if you send me an email, because from the part of the world we come from, we don't deal with email and stuff like that. But on a professional setting, at least, even though the email is not asking you to act on anything, you quickly say, thank you so much for your email, acknowledged receipt. So over the years, I've made that a habit to respond to emails that I see like that. So it was a character flaw, but I was not aware. So there are some things like that, maybe based on where you grew up, you didn't know that something like that is rude. Like, for instance, someone that grew up, so maybe from this part of the world, can just when an elderly man stand up, he can just go and sit down on that seat. But for some of us that grew up where we grew up, it is wrong, it is rude for an elderly man to stay vacant a seat for you, even though that elderly person is not coming back again, and he has not gone yet. You just go and sit down on that seat. So to
You
them,
don't.
it's not rude, but it is rude in this part of the world. Or to call somebody that can give birth to you by their surname. So, like you said, your question is it possible to have a character flaw and don't know? Yes, it is possible. Some people don't even think that coming late to meetings is not a character flaw. Some people don't even think, some people doesn't think that uh, not putting off your not muting yourself when the instructions said mute yourself is a character flaw. So there are a lot of things that we take for granted that are actually character flaw that we don't know they are character flaw. So yeah, it's possible for you to have a character flaw but don't know it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Sam Alido. Um, I'm not seeing any question in the chat box, and I'm also not seeing anybody raising their hands. So I think that you like done justice to this subject matter. So I want to just round off by saying, everyone, thank you very much for staying till this late. However, I want you to still go back and those lessons, those things that stood out for you, and work on them, because I was here last year, and I remember Mr. Sam saying we should highlight. He highlighted some character flaws. I did not know that I had this entitlement mentality, especially when it dealt with my parents. I just felt that they were entitled to do certain things for me. But that
Mm.
session just brought it to my mind like, oh, Precious, your parents do not really owe you anything. And
They don't.
I consciously made sure that I worked on that flow. So instead of being entitled, right now I'm more grateful. I'm thankful for them, thankful for the things that they give to me, even the things that they've not given to me yet. So I want everyone to don't just write it, because my notes, I joined a little bit late, my notes is already full. So don't just have it down on your notes. Take it as have actionable steps. Identify those things that you really want to work on, things that your friends, people around you. Sometimes people say this person, you're a proud person, but you in your head, you're like, I'm very humble. Look at it and work on it. So thank you very much once again. We have come to the end of this session. Have a very nice night. Sleep well, everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Sam, you have something to say?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Thank you. I see that it is 28 minutes past the hour of 10, and this one might just be for someone. And I sincerely apologize for bringing this up at the point I'm doing now. Quickly, I don't know if I drove home the matter of consistency in character. And it is always in my character to share one personal experience that I want mentees, to learn. And I believe that is the essence of this gathering. The president just did that. In fact, sorry, the lady that just spoke last, I didn't pick, I can't recall the name now. She also did the same, talked about last year's experience and all of that. And by the way, Press, I've always noticed that people hardly ask questions in my sessions. And it gets me thinking, not worried. I am really hopeful that it is because they understood or understand everything properly.
You're a
But
lecturer, Sam.
quickly in a
What do you
minute.
expect?
Thank you, sir. In a minute, I'd like to share this experience with the few persons that are here. Not few, there are quite a couple of persons here that are here this evening. Beloved mentees, in the year 2015, I was still a master's student, taking a master's degree in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where I was having, a higher degree program. That postgraduate program came with a lot of experiences that may not be necessary for you here. But what is the lesson that is important? That year was the year, if you remember, those of you that are here, if you are old enough to remember the year MMM. How many of you remember MMM?
I do.
Press, you are laughing. Precious, you're also laughing. If you remember MMM, the year 2015 was the year MMM, that Ponzi scheme became popular. Now, I was in a place where I saw young men, they crave the madness, to make quick money. People were putting in money to do all of these things. I was unmoved. I did not shake. I don't even know how. I don't know why. I don't know what was my principle about it, but I just told myself I was not interested and I was not interested. I saw people make money, good money, right before my presence, and I saw the same people cry. This was 10 years ago, 2015. And I held on to that principle for a long time, for a very long time, until sometime this year. I'm about to share something very important to you, to all of you. Sometime this year, 10 years after, what I refused to do 10 years ago came before me in a very subtle manner, and I don't know how. I agree with it. I agreed with it, and I gave it. I said, let me give it a try. And I gave it a try. Even before I gave it a try, this person started talking to me since November 2024. And I only gave him in late February. March 2025. And guess what? I paid dearly for it. I'm a guest mentor on character. I'm trying to talk to you on consistency. I paid dearly for it. Look, I paid. Don't worry. It's not CBEX. I didn't do CBEX. Thank you very much. I know CBEX is everywhere, so don't think it's CBEX. But I'm telling you that what I escaped 10 years ago was still waiting for me 10 years after. Let me tell you, you may escape this year. You may escape next year. The devil always has a 20, 30, 50 years plan for your life. That is why you must consciously continue to remind yourself that I must be consistent in character. Every year I have students on this platform, students whom I have taught, some I'm still teaching. They come to this place. So imagine if I am not what I am that they know here. Imagine if I was deceiving the president and his team. They will know they are here. So I thought to tell you quickly of something that happened to me. And I told myself, I said, wow, I thought I had overcome this thing. I didn't know that I still had a part of me that I yearned and desired for it. I can't remember how I got to remembering to tell you this, but I think it will help somebody, because if you're not consistent in your character, I am still sorry for you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the honor.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir. Good night, everyone.